Hi there, I'm Alexis. I'm a graduate of the Story Intensive program. Today I'm going to be taking over the Sarah Selecky Writing School Instagram, and I'll be joined by my friend Jenny, who was a classmate of mine and now really, really close friend. So it's going to be fun. And that's really all that we want to say right now. Just send us any questions you have. I'm really happy to answer them and talk about this amazing program. And yeah, it's going to be fun. Okay, thanks. So, what led me to the Sarah Selecky Writing School? Um, I think it was Instagram. I think I had, been following Sarah for a couple of years and following her blog, loving everything that she had to say about writing. It just always resonated with me. But I never considered myself a writer. I'm an artist, a community artist, a teacher. I do photography, and writing was something I thought other people did, that you had to be a professional writer to be a writer. So it wasn't something I thought was available to me, even though I loved the sound of the course and all of that. But then, I guess it was a week or 10 days before the deadline for registration, and I have had this project burning inside of me. It's like a memoir book that I just had to get out of me. And so, kind of out of desperation, I sent an email, and Ryan got back to me, and I said, Ryan, would you mind checking out my Instagram and just telling me if you think I could do this program, if I could be a writer? Because I had an Instagram on my kind of on the project, and I had broken it down into little vignettes, and I thought maybe I could somehow make these vignettes into a story, into a short story, into a novel, into a memoir. So Ryan got back and he said, Alexis, these are great. These just are jumping off the page. That you've practically got the stories written here. So yes, the story intensive is for you, and you can do it. So long story short, I chatted with Sarah the next day. I said, just give me a day. I'm going to think it over and try to arrange some things. And next day, I just said, I'm in. And wow, never looked back. It was really one of the best decisions that well, for sure that I've made for my creative life, but really for my life in general. I do think that it's been nothing short of life changing. I now can say I'm a writer. It just felt comforting, and although it was really, really intense, it never felt overwhelming or too much. Um, it wasn't like a college course where you listen to somebody drone on and on for an hour and a half and then another hour and a half after your break. It was more, Sarah has condensed the program into smaller, I don't know, just smaller lessons that are really packed. Like there's nothing extraneous. They're all beautifully designed, and if you don't want to read them, you can listen to her beautiful voice. And I just absorbed everything on a deep level. I just felt like I kind of the course just seeped into me. So my experience of it was beautiful. I loved taking this course. It was the best thing that I did last year. The meaningful insight that I had was that my story could be broken down into smaller parts, that it was accessible to me. I could do it. It's kind of like running a marathon where you realize you don't have to run the whole way. You can run, walk, but in the end, you'll get there. And I felt like, wow, I could actually do this with writing. I could do it my way. I can take it in smaller parts and then gather it all together. And so I guess that was a relief to me that I'm going to finish this book that I have inside me that's just dying to get out. So yeah, I learned that writing is such a personal expression, and the way you do it is so personal to you. So I felt really confident. I felt like I don't fear writing anymore, And I used to, and now I just feel really comfortable with the whole idea of writing and doing it my way. It's unlike anything I've ever seen in any other university program or any program. It's so unique. It's so holistic. It's so organic. It's so complete, and it's so personal to each person. And you can really, um, it speaks to everybody. That's the crazy thing about it, is that you can go into the program and be the non-writer, and amongst a lot of more seasoned writers, and still feel that the course speaks to you perfectly. So I guess that's how I felt about it. In the story intensive, there is a built-in community, because you're with a small group, and you become really close. You get to read everyone's writing, which is amazing to see it develop. Um, it's unique in that we're supporting each other rather than critiquing each other, which is quite, I don't know if that's revolutionary for a course, but it worked so well for me, because I immediately felt confident with what I was doing right and didn't worry about what I wasn't doing right. And no one else worried about that either. It didn't matter. I think you're just given enough positive affirmation that you're on the right track, and that you can just keep going and growing with the positivity. So it is a real community. Small groups are perfect, the perfect number. And yeah, and then I've followed up by maintaining contact with Jenny, which has been really fun. She's it's been really great to read and compare notes with her every week on Zoom. So the other thing is there's supports there for you if you want them later. There's centered. I haven't explored that yet, but I know Jenny really enjoys it, and I know it's there for me. I just feel like there's a support system there for me. When I need it, it'll be there. If I need work, help with publishing, or there's ways to keep in touch with everybody, and yeah, just continue with the amazing group. We have so much in common, and yet we're very different. I mean, she comes from a scientific background, writing journals, and I come from an art background. So she's very linear. We're both reading the 90-day novel, How to Do a Novel in 90 Days by, I think it's Alan Watts. And she reads it, page by page, chapter by chapter. I'm like just open to a page, and very, she's linear, I'm circular, but we we help each other a lot in that way. I think we can look at each other's work in a different way, and because we've been through the story intensive, we've got this amazing grounding with what we've learned there. You know, how to start stories, how to do dialogue, um, how to do everything. It's all covered. There's so many great lessons in this program. I guess I was just amazed that in 4 months you can take somebody who's really not a practiced writer. I'm a great reader, but you can make somebody into a writer that sounds, that sounds great. So a friend of mine has read some of my writing before this course, because I've been working on this book for quite a while now, this memoir. And she's a writer. She was just, kind of polite about my writing. But when I sent her the writing that I wrote after the story intensive, she was blown away. She said, "Alexis, this is amazing. You're a writer." I'm like, well, the story intensive, it basically pushed and pulled the writer out of me. It just, it really did. It just pulled it out of me. And it is exhausting, but it's exhilarating at the same time, because you know that you're headed towards this amazing place where you can actually complete something that is really important to you. So in that way, it was really worth every minute that I spent in the course, and everything that the course cost, and it was more than worth it. I don't think you have to be, think of yourself um, as a professional writer. I think you have to enjoy reading and books and have a real desire to write. But really, I feel that you'll be supported in the story intensive, even if you don't have a you know academic English background, because I think we're at a point in Canada finally where all voices are important and all voices can be heard. And we don't have to filter everything through this colonial lens of proper English. We just need to tell our stories. And everyone has a voice and everybody can write. So really the story intensive, I feel, is for everybody. It certainly was for me, a non-writer. So yeah, I would just say to everybody who's thinking about it that it's something that you should really, you should just do for yourself and just put the work in. Daryl said to me when I started at the beginning, and I was a bit anxious, just wondering if I could do this. And he just said, just allow yourself the proper amount of time and you'll be fine. And really, he just put me at ease, and that's all that it required, because the curriculum does the rest. It just leads you through. So as long as you're allowing yourself time, you'll get through it, and you'll amaze yourself, because it's really quite a magical, transformational experience. So thank you everybody for tuning in. It's been wonderful to talk about this amazing course, and I hope you'll join us on Friday for Instagram Live with Sarah, and yeah, we'll see you then. Thanks.